Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play Morrowind with Mervis the Assassin Thief. Because just very recently we actually found and joined the Arkngthingy and have done our first couple of assassinations. But now for the next one we have to trek to literally the ass end of nowhere to actually find our target, because it's an Ashlander who is staying in the middle of their camp that we need to kill this time around. And for that reason, we're actually taking a little break before we go off on that massive trek to do some jobs for the Thieves Guild. And right now, what they want from us is some Dwemer scrap metal. The one thing from Dwemer ruins that I never bother to pick up. So we're going to use this as an opportunity to head back to Arkngthingy. Wherever that actually is, I honestly cannot remember. I'll have to actually look up my directions to Arkngthingy from here again, but we're going to have to head back there. For various reasons. But we want both to pick up this scrap metal, and also there is a key that we got given by Hasfat and Tabulus at the Fighters Guild. Right here, key to Lower Arkngthingy, and we want to give that a try. And see if we can't find some reasonably valuable stuff to sell down there, because we're not exactly rich right now. Me having spent a bunch of money on training very recently, to bump up my restoration, alteration, and mysticism skills. Mysticism, because we're going to need that to be able to cast Recall more effectively, as I've currently got my Mark spell actually set to the Arkngthingy headquarters, which is going to be quite handy for actually getting back after we finish up with this assassination, because I can skip over the long-ass travel and such. But for the time being, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a moment to read Progress of Truth. I'm not going to bother to read Hulia's notes, because a lot of it is basically just a copy of his dialogue, which I read when he was having that conversation with us. But I will take a moment to read Progress of Truth. Then we're going to head back to Caius's place, and I'll dump a bunch of my books on the floor there, I think. Progress of Truth, compiled by the Dissident Priests. Excerpt, concerning the points of temple doctrine challenged by the Dissident Priests. 1. The divinity of the tribunal. Temple doctrine claims their apotheosis was miraculously achieved through questing, virtue, knowledge, testing, and battling with evil. Temple doctrine claims their divine powers and immortality are ultimately conferred as a communal judgment by the Dunmer ancestors, including, among others, the good Daedra, the prophet Veloth, and Saint Nerevar. Dissident priests ask whether Digathur's powers and the tribunal's powers might ultimately derive from the same source, Red Mountain. Sources in the Apocryph suggests that the tribunal relied on profane enchanted tools to achieve godhead, and that those unholy devices were the ones originally created by the ungodly Dwemer sorcerer Kagrenak to create the false construct Numidium. 2. The purity of the tribunal. The dissident priests say that the temple has always maintained a public face, represented by the hieroglypha, the priestly writings, and a hidden face, represented by the apocrypha, the hidden writings. The public account portrays the tribunal in a heroic light, while the hidden writings reveal secrets, untruths, inconsistencies, conflicting accounts, and varying interpretations, which hint at darker and less heroic motives and actions of the tribunes. In particular, conflicting accounts of the Battle of Red Mountain raise questions about the tribunal's conduct and about the source of their subsequent apotheosis. Also, there's good evidence that the tribunal have been concealing the true nature of the threat posed by Dagoth at Red Mountain, misleading the people about the tribunal's ability to protect Morrowind from Dagoth, and concealing a recent dramatic diminishing of the tribunal's magical powers. 3. Temple accounts of the Battle of Red Mountain. Ashlander tradition does not place the tribunal at Red Mountain and holds that the Dwemer destroyed themselves, rather than that Nerevar destroyed them. Ashlander tradition further holds that Nerevar left Dagoth guarding the profane secrets of Red Mountain, while Nerevar went to confer with the Grand Council, i.e. the Tribunal. That Nerevar died at the conference, not of his wounds according to the Ashlanders, but from treachery, and that subsequently the Tribunal confronted a defiant Dagoth within Red Mountain, then drove Dagoth beneath Red Mountain when he would not yield to their will. 4. Veneration of the Daedra, Saints, and Ancestors. While challenging the divinity of the Tribunal, the dissidents do not challenge the sainthood or heroism of the Tribunal. In fact, the dissident priests advocate restoring many of the elements of fundamentalist ancestor worship, as practiced by the Ashlanders and by Saint Veloth. Exactly how this would work is debated inconclusively within the dissident priests. 5. Denial of the prophecies of the Incarnate and the persecution of the Nerevarines. Though no consensus exists among the dissidents about whether the Nerevarine prophecies are genuine, all agree that the persecution of the Nerevarines is unjust and politically motivated. Wow, politically motivated persecution. Never heard that one before. The dissident priests do not reject mysticism, revelation, or prophecy as part of the religious experience. The dissidents have not resolved the issue of true or false insights. They have studied the mysticism of the Ashlander ancestor cults, in particular the rites of the Ashlander seers and wise women, and the prophecies of the Incarnate. Many among the dissident priests have come to believe that the Nerevarine prophecies are genuine, have made a systematic study of prophecies recorded in the temple archives. 6. Authority of the Archcanon and the Ordinators. The dissident priests reject the authority of the Archcanon and the Ordinators. And the temple hierarchy has been corrupted by self-interest and politics, and no longer acts in the best interests of the temple or its worshippers. The dissident priests believe the Archcanon and Ordinators speak for themselves, not for the Tribunal. 7. The Inquisition and the use of terror and torture by the Ordinators. Haha, no one expects the Morrowind Inquisition. Okay, that was terrible. I'm so sorry. Within the temple hierarchy, it is an open secret that the Ordinators rely on abduction, terror, torture, and secret imprisonment to discourage heresy and dissent. Dissident priests feel the Ordinators are either out of control or tools used to maintain corrupt priesthood in power. 8. Fundamentals of temple doctrine: charity for the poor, education for the ignorant, protection for the weak. Though the dissident priests acknowledge that most rank-and-file priests honor the best traditions of the temple, they believe that many priests in higher ranks are interested more in the love of authority and luxury than the welfare of the poor, weak, and ignorant. Okay, so that was actually quite an interesting read. So these dissident priests definitely have quite the dispute with the way that the Tribunal Temple does things. However, that's not going to discourage Mervis from wanting to join the temple, just because, as I said before, it's a way to sort of learn more about the culture and heritage of Morrowind and his people at large, since the only Dunmer he's ever met, as I said in previous episodes, were fellow Outlanders. So it's a way for him to learn a bit more about that. And he's going to take advantage of that. Frame rate issues, lovely. Lower that view distance, problem solved. And the wildlife is on the attack again. Wonderful. Bloody spectacular, surely. Let's head into the Tribunal Temple. As I said, Mervis has made up his mind that he wants to join the temple, though he hasn't decided if he also wants to join the Cult of the Nine Divines. But the temple is part of his culture and heritage as a Dunmer, even if he hasn't set foot in Morrowind before this adventure began, so it really only makes sense for him to join, since he wants to learn more about that. You're worse than useless. Can't talk to her about joining the temple. Let's hope they actually have openings too, because it would be just our luck to come in here to join the temple, and then they say they're not accepting new people at this time. Fortunately, that doesn't appear to be the case. Welcome, my child. Do you seek to join the temple? Indeed I do. You have a promising look. Perhaps we could use you. Do you wish to join, or shall you hear our doctrine first? Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt to hear your doctrine. Your fourfold duties are to faith, family, masters, and all that is good. Perform holy quests, and bring luster to the temple. Never transgress against your brothers or sisters in thought or deed, as we are all one body. If you somehow fail to uphold these ideals, you must speak with the master or the patriarch to be cleansed of your wrongdoing. Still want to join? Yes, I am worthy. You are now a layman in the temple. Welcome, Brother Mervis Thyrano. I am one of several masters you can go to get your duties from. And if you perform well, advancement in the temple is not out of the question. Alrighty then. We are officially a member of the Tribunal Temple. Basically the lowest of the low, but still. And let's get us some duties. Before I can give you any other duties, you should prove your faith by making the pilgrimages of the Seven Graces. Take this book, The Pilgrim's Path. It describes where the pilgrimage sites are. After you have completed these pilgrimages, speak with me again. I should warn you that while most of these are easy, the pilgrimages of Ghostgate and the Ready Man are more difficult. You may wish to do those last. Well, thank you very much. What are you off? We can't get training from him because we're too low rank. Lovely. You sell spells? I don't actually have a companion right now, so I'm not going to do that. I think we're done in this particular branch of the temple for now. I may come back and have a more thorough look around at a later date, but we're done for the time being. Now, before I actually leave this city of Balmora, I have a few little things that I'm going to want to do first of all. Number one, if possible, I would like to get our sword repaired, basically. It's at about half its ability, for lack of a better phrase. There's the armor.
What say you?
There's the armor. So, let's go and see if we can get any of our equipment fixed up and sell the steel blade that we're not going to be making any use of. Wasn't cheap, that's like half our gold, basically. Just shy of half, in fact, but I'd say it was worth it. I'll sell that. And you can have... You don't buy the Amulet of Far Silence. It's unfortunate. $20 gold for that. Now, it's time to see our good friend Revere about selling a few things. He likes us, so he should be willing to give us a good price after all. And Far Silence, goodbye. We do not want you or need you. I'm also going to sell a bunch of other stuff. The Almcivi's Intervention and Divine Intervention. We'll get rid of both of those because I have spells that do that now, so no need to hold on to the scrolls. I'm keeping Icarian Flight for the moment. Medusa's Unhinging as well, because that's better than our current spells selection. Goodbye Fatigue Potions. I'll keep the Flynn though. And the cheap Restore Health. Let's check this out. Nothing more in there that we want to get rid of. Let's see here. "36 Lessons of Vivek" I will sell, because we can always get a new one, and it's just crowding up inventory space right now, to be perfectly honest. I'm also going to get rid of the Lusty Argonian Maid, because Mervis has no interest in keeping that sort of book. He really does not. Ditch Homely's a Blessed Almalexia. And the parchment with scrawlings that we got from that cultist that's bloody fucking useless. To be perfectly honest, let's see how far we can jack up the price. There we go. 310 gold out of that. And that puts us up to 577. And now, I just thought of a few other things I wanted to do before we leave town. First off, is a visit to the Mages Guild.
Outlander, what do you want?
What I want is your supplies, dearie. Much more restore magic potions. This is a soul gem. And I'll be taking all of these scrolls just so I can sell them. Yeah. Spirit of the Danger. I'll have a little peek at that. See if it's something we would want to hold on to. Nope. We're going to be selling that. So, back over to Revere's to sell some of this stuff. Hey, the Mages Guild are giving it to me for free. There's nothing in the contract saying that I can't sell it to someone else to make a profit. If they didn't want me doing this, they should put it in the bloody contract. It's their problem, not mine. Get rid of the fortified willpower. There we go. He's got 290 gold left. Can I get all 290 for that? No. What about 285? Yep. So now he's down to just 5 gold. Not bad. Also, let's check with the Fighters Guild, I think. For supplies. Restore health we're gonna want. And restore fatigue and cheap restore health. I'll leave their other crap. I don't need any of it. We don't do repair hammers for a reason after all. Now, there's a few other places we need to pop into. Like I said, we're going to visit Caius's place for the simple reason that we want to plonk down a couple of our books there so that they're not taking up inventory space.
No worries.
We're also going to the south wall so I can buy some lockpicks and probes. That's a lot, but that's also a lot of lockpicks. There. We'll pick up 1, 2, 3 more lockpicks. Are you willing to lower the price for me? He is. So there. That's a couple more lockpicks.
This is an honor.
Should help us out.
No worries.
Now, it's back to Caius's, where I will dump the majority of my books and such on the floor.
With pleasure. Please, go ahead. I'm all ears.
No, it's nothing, Caius. I just need to dump some of my stuff around here. To get it out of the way so I'm not carrying crap I won't be making use of around. Notes from Hulia. Dawn and Dusk. Short history of Morrowind constays. Well, I gotta keep the strange letter in Pilgrim's Path. Though, for questing reasons. But seriously, I tell ya, it is going to be so nice when I can finally have a place to call my own that I can store this rather than just dumping it all in Caius's house. Because I'm sure he's getting rather tired of that too. Pretty sure we're done with that. Now, we'll head into the house of the fellow who we told our friend in the Arkngthingy we'd dispose of using that cauldron. He doesn't appear disposed of yet. I guess he's not gone in to give it a look or anything.
Greetings to you. A pleasure to meet you.
Alrighty then. With that taken care of, I do not believe that we have further business in Balmora for the moment.
I'm waiting.
So we can head out of town. On with more important matters. Just supply stocking. Okay. The insects and other nonsense is as rowdy as ever, I see. And good googly moogly is it foggy out, really. Now, two things we need to check on. First of all, Pilgrim's Path. Where are these pilgrimages at? The Fields of Kumu, Shrine of Humility. I'll read these as they become relevant, by the way. I am not going to read everything right now. Shrine of Daring in the city of Vivek. So, something else to do when we head back to Vivek. Shrine of Generosity on the top steps of Vivek's palace. So, two shrines in Vivek City, apparently. The Puzzle Canal, Shrine of Courtesy. Puzzle Canal Labyrinth beneath Vivek's palace. So make that 3 shrines, one of which is apparently going to involve a maze. I hate mazes, so that'll be interesting. Shrine of Justice. In the Nisus Temple in the village of Nisus. Hopefully we can find where that is. Koal Cave, Shrine of Valor. Ghost Fence, Shrine of Pride. Within the Ghost Fence. Okay. That is interesting, I suppose. Oh, and Nisus is marked as being way up there. Ghost Gate is, as you can see, pretty near the center of Vardenfell, which makes sense as it's supposed to be on the slopes of Red Mountain, I think. Now, topics. Arkngthingy. Head north to Caldera. Turn right at the signpost from Molegmar and head up the hill. Okay. We're heading back to Arkngthingy now. To one, get a couple of pieces of scrap metal. And two, find wherever it is this key opens and see what's inside there. Because we got given that key to lower Arkngthingy by... I keep forgetting his name for a second. Hasfat Antabolus, that's it. We got given that key by Antabolus a while back. Just after we gave Caius the information we got from the use of that puzzle box. And I've been meaning to go back for a while now. Thinking of which, I should have changed out of the fancy robes while we were still in town. They're much better for traveling. Let's just pretend I was wearing those all along, shall we? You know, the sensible thing. Yes, here we are, on the road to Arkngthingy. Make a quick save. We'll walk to get a bit of stamina back, just in case. Apparently there is an emerald in there. Not sure how I missed that before, but we have an emerald now. That's going to make for some nice cash. Most definitely. Most assuredly will. Now, turn the crank and let's head on inside. There we go. And I suppose we'll see how hostile the interior ends up being on this occasion. We have cleared out a good chunk of it, but even so. to make sure we get the scrap metal that I'm here to gather. As well as the Dwemer coins. If there are any of those left. Gathered. There's a handful of gold coins. So that's kind of nice. Just drop down. Head down here. Just to see what there is to see. Other reasons as well, but it's the main one just because I can. Scrap metal. That's one. We were supposed to bring back either 3 or 4 scrap metal. I don't remember which. There's scrap metal number 2. We are pretty close to having what we need. If nothing else, I'll certainly be walking out of here with the scrap metal I need for this Thieves Guild assignment. Your cogs are bloody worthless, so I will not be taking those along. Well, I hear the sound of spiders. And there's a dead centurion. I'll take their scrap metal. That brings me up to 3. Let's actually check how much they wanted. 4 pieces of scrap metal. Gotcha. 4. And I'm going to go ahead and equip the life rings so I can use those abilities when necessary. That's another one down. Heal myself up a bit. None of you have what I want on you, but you do. That's the 4 scrap metal we're going to need right there. Unlocked chest that has bugger all in it. Dead female adventurer. Well, if nothing else, that shard sword is certainly valuable to sell. I'll take the probe and lockpick. Other than that, nothing you have is worth a damn to me. Now, deep ore passage. I have been down there already as it happens, and I cleared it out last time, so there's no reason to go that way. Heaven's Gallery. No, no, no. Probably something spidery that direction. Hello. Die, die, die. And I'll heal myself. Wonderful. A putrid rotting corpse. But it's a putrid rotting corpse that has 18 gold on it, so it's kind of nice, I suppose. Kindly die. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, progress is being made. Progress is being made. I'm seeing one, if not more, spider things down here. All of them need to become dead. Yes, I'm stopping to see if there's anything worth looting while I do that. Hello there. There's one of them down. We have the mommy over here. Well, I suppose that's not precisely the right term, is it? But these are basically baby spiders, so I refer to it as the mommy, just because I find that somewhat amusing. Nothing worthwhile in either of those. Nothing worthwhile. Part of the area is nice and cleared out by us now. So let's head back up. That's the deep ore passage. Right. Well, I think I'm done in here, actually. You won't have seen this, probably, because of the way I end up editing things, but I looked around on Google just because I could not find any door that hadn't been opened yet, and the door that key opens is one into an area that we've already been in, I'm pretty sure, and it just had a lockpick that we opened it with. At least I think that's the case. If it ends up not being the case, I will come back again later. I'm going to do a bit of online. I'm going to do a bit of research on Google and things to see what exact door that key opens. Just to make sure that it isn't one to somewhere that I have not been yet. For now, I'm just waiting on my stamina to recover all the way. And now it has, so we have just shy of a 50-50 chance of this, but I'm gonna try and cast a call. And it worked, so back to the Arkngthingy headquarters now. We have 2 things we need to turn in here, and then I have a couple of shrines here in the city of Vivek that we need to see to.
Haven't I heard of you?
I've heard a lot about you out there. Go ahead.
What is it? Have you completed the sensitive matter we discussed? As it happens, I have. Well done. Mephala wishes to speak to you directly. It's a great honor for you. Approach her altar. Very well. I shall do so.
You have done well, mortal. There are some things that must be done to preserve the order, and it will be amusing for me when this business comes to light. I look forward to it. Take this ring, mortal. Through the brightest day, it will carry you with speed and stealth. Leave me now.
Okay. And we got given the Ring of Khajiit. Invisibility for 30 seconds and fortifies speed 10 to 20 points for 30 seconds on self. That's going to be replacing that ring of... I forget what it's called. Ring of Aversion. Yeah. We're going to replacing the Ring of Aversion with the Ring of Khajiit, I think.
Wealth beyond measure,
that
Outlander.
was interesting.
Outlander, what do you want?
We didn't get paid for it, but it was still a rather interesting excursion.
May your kills be quick and many.
And now, since that job was one we did for the Arkngthingy, and this guy was a Arkngthingy freelancer that we offed for them, I'm going to bring up with, Lalu, when I speak to him, this whole thing, as well as sort of imply that it would be nice if I could make use of this former member's home. And I'm sure he'll take care of the deeds and everything, so no one questions it. In the meantime, we have a writ to turn in. You have claimed and executed the writ on Taurus Saren. Here is your payment. 500 gold's been added to our inventory. Do you have any other writs, gents? Well, no. You've still got to do the one for that Ashlander, so we won't be leaving. No, we won't be shooting up the ranks anytime soon. Still,
Be quick and many.
I think we're done in the Arkngthingy HQ for now. How are we looking for leveling up, though? Let's check that out. We've got a bunch of stuff in willpower and a tiny bit in agility and in speed. Let's see. Willpower. Well, here we are back in Vivek. This time, however, we're here on a religious pilgrimage. Actually. So this ought to be interesting. We have 3 shrines to visit, 2 of which are in obvious locations, 1 of which is inside a goddamn puzzle labyrinth. So, have I mentioned I don't like labyrinths very much? Because I don't like labyrinths very much. Anyways, we joined the temple, so damn it, we are going to do our pilgrimage. We may as well do the ones for Vivek first. Fortunately, I'm fairly certain that a lot of these are in places we have visited before. So, we're going to probably either use the Mage's Guild or the Silt Strider to get to a lot of these places, just to save on time. Hopefully, there's no issues, and this can just be a bog-standard pilgrimage. The parts of it in Vivek City, anyways. But I can tell you right now, even just going off of hearsay, I am not looking forward to the part of this pilgrimage that is going to take me to Bloody Ghostgate. That place does not sound like fun.